Good evening, good evening. Facebook, YouTube, Zoom room, everybody, everywhere. I do hope that, as always, this video finds you doing fine. This is let's see, let me see. Okay. So I have a couple of things going on over here. So I'm waiting for people to chime on in. Um, and I hope that this records the way it's supposed to, because I was streaming live from Facebook, from Zoom into Facebook, but it seems that they are having some technical difficulty. So I set up a plan B. Always good to have a plan B. So as you guys are coming in, I wanted to go live tonight to share with you my experience in getting ready for college. A lot of people have people who are, you got your kids at home during this coronavirus time, and you may need something for them to do. So college preparedness is something that you can get your juniors and your seniors ready for. So actually, if they are home with you, I would appreciate it if you'd have them come on and listen, because I'm going to spend the first part of this time kind of addressing what they can do once they get off to college. And then I'll swing back around to talk to you guys as parents and loved ones on getting them ready for college. One of the things that I learned the hard way, okay, the hard way, was when I got to college as a freshman, learning about credit card applications. Is anybody feeling that part? Parents who've been out of school 10, 15 years, are you still feeling that effect of college application, credit card application that you signed and had no idea what you were signing on? Well, let me tell you, before I go any further, let me introduce myself. My name is Nicole Johnson. I'm the founder and CEO of B&B Business Services, where we help you position yourself to create a six-figure income from home in the medical industry. But prior to doing that, I spent a lot of time with my clients in creating budgets, sustaining budgets, and getting them through the home buying process. Part of what I did was actually sit down with their credit reports and look at some of the things that were on it that were preventing them from gaining good credit scores, that were helping them in the home buying process and hindering them. Okay, and this really is from my own personal experience. So let me go ahead and give my disclaimer now. I am here to share with you my experiences of the good, bad, and the ugly, and the things that I have helped my clients implement that has been beneficial to them. So some of you may have heard of some of the things I'm going to talk about, and that's great and wonderful. I'm here to share with those who don't know. All right. So when I got off to college, the first thing that we did was, get to know, go around the campus and all of those things. What nobody told me was not to sign for that t-shirt and that pop and that pizza that credit card company was offering. They didn't tell me it would come back to bite me in the butt 5-10 years later. Nobody told me that when I was swiping that card that the bill would come and I would actually have to pay it. Nobody explained that part to me. So one of the things that I have strived to do is to have a college preparedness session, at least toward the middle of the second semester, so that parents can get ready, students can get ready, and we can send our kids off to college in a better position than what we were. Okay, so some of you may have had great experiences, some of you may not have. And I'm talking to you. Let's get our kids better prepared than what we were. So you'll find that when you, especially during the first 2 to 3 weeks of school, there are a lot of credit card companies out there talking about no interest for the first 6 months. And, you don't have to pay anything right away. It's a trick. It's a trap. Don't fall for it. Okay. If you just want pizza, call mom and dad and say, hey, order me a pizza. I'm sure that $20 will come faster than you buying on that credit card, which you end up with a 7, 8, 12, 27% interest rate that is going to kill your credit in a matter of a short matter of time. Okay, so let's not send our you kids, don't do it. You want a t-shirt? Ask somebody, borrow one, buy one, but you don't need it. Just don't sign on those. Don't sign for those credit card applications. Please don't. They may look good. Everything that glitter ain't gold. Ask mom and dad what that means, okay? So one of the things that I told my daughter, and one of the things I found to be most helpful, even when I was in school, is that you have a little side hustle. Okay, you had students who did who wrote papers or would edit your papers. Okay, they did tutoring and they either bartered or they asked, they charged a small amount. Today, you have students who are doing hair, making clothes. My daughter decided she wasn't cooking. Her roommate did. Her roommate cooked and bartered with other students on campus. All right. But my daughter said, I'm not cooking. But what she did was she started sewing pillows and she would put little designs on them and kids thought it was cute. So they bought them. She had 3 sizes, 3 different prices, and it helped her keep some money in her pocket. So you develop what works best for you. And this is for those of you who need it. Some of you just might decide you want it. Okay. But the first thing I'm going to tell you is please do not sign on any credit card application because it can hurt you in the long run. Now, if you got your money management skills under control and you know how to just hold on to that card and really use it for emergency purposes only, that's one thing. But be open with your parents and talk to them about what you're doing. I promise if you keep that door, if you just ask them, keep that door open and let them know what you are considering, they will give you some feedback that will help make some changes and keep you out of financial debt. Because a lot of the customers and clients that I have today have debt from school and they've been out of school 10, 15, 20 years and longer. And they're still paying because the interest is killing them. Okay. So we want you guys to be better than what we were way back then. If you are stuck at home, you are stuck at home because of COVID-19, AKA the corona and the virus. This book, the Ultimate Scholarship Book, is one that you guys, most of the parents, you guys may not be able to see. I hope you can see it. It's called the Ultimate Scholarship Book. I ordered it off of Amazon when I started looking for things for my daughter. If you are a high school junior, it's nothing wrong with getting a copy of that book now and start going through the book to see what the requirements are for some of the various scholarships that are in there. Now, let me tell you, I hit the internet to look for something about scholarships that paid out to help my kids going through school, okay? Because it's expensive, right? And so this one was the one that just kind of stuck to me more than any other book. And I'm very glad that I chose this book. So be sure to write it down. The name of the book is the Ultimate Scholarship Book. It comes out every year, and it's really an opportunity for new organizations to join every year. So if you have it from 2020 and your child is class of 21 or 22, it's a good idea to have it to practice and to get ahead of the game. There are a lot of scholarships available in here. So the book is broken down by state and it's in sections. Let me say that because it's thick. It's probably that thick, that thick. And it's broken. The first part is by state. There's scholarships by state. Then there are scholarships by subject, meaning what your major is. And then there are subjects and topics that I would have never thought of. So you've got the Elks. If your grandfather or great grandfather was a member of the Elks, you can get a scholarship. If there's by subjects, there's fraternities, sororities, and you don't have to be a member of either of the organization to receive the scholarship. There's Regions Banks. There's all different banks out there that have scholarships in this book. And the reason that they have them out there is because that's a tax write-off for the organization. They want to give away money. All right. And what I found to be the most exciting about this book is that not all scholarships pay directly to the school. They will pay to the student. And the reason that that is exciting is because those scholarships are paid prior to the school year beginning. So they haven't even gotten to school. So that check has come over the summer. That's money to buy books, food, or whatever you clothes, supplies. That's money that you, the parent, and you, the student, can spend together, or you can put it to the side to have it for tuition expenses. Okay. So, as a college, at the time that my daughter was in preparing for her first year of college, I was also in law school. So, I utilized some of the scholarships in there for me as an adult. So, that was one of the questions that was asked. Are there scholarships for adults? Yes, there are graduate program scholarships that are out there. There are there are scholarships based on your nationality. There are scholarships for women. There are scholarships for men and other classifications. There are scholarships because you lived in a small town, in a small jurisdiction. That book is absolutely amazing. And I have recommended it for the last 5, 6, or 7 years. Okay. So someone asked, are there scholarships for returning adults? Yes, please utilize it. And then what I did for my daughter, because school books are expensive as well. And what they do is they eat up the remaining balance that a child may have if they're receiving any type of financial aid or scholarships. So what I did was I waited closer till the school year started. And when her book list came out, I compared her book list to the list that I found on Amazon. Did you know you could rent books on Amazon? I didn't. You can rent textbooks on Amazon, especially if you have a Prime account. They will ship in 2 days. They will have the whole semester. They can pay one flat price, and returning the books back to Amazon is free. Free coming, free going back. I thought that in and of itself was worth it to find a $500 textbook for $150. Use the scholarship money to pay for that book and then return it for free. If you needed it for 2 semesters, you could adjust the rental period. I absolutely loved it. So if you have Amazon Prime, there's another benefit to rent your child's textbooks and return them, because you know that if you buy a textbook for $150, you're getting $10 when you try to sell it back to the bookstore at the end of the year. And if you wait and try and sell it to a classmate the next year, you have a small chance of getting it sold, because you and every other student on campus is selling the same book. Okay. So I want to share all of this information. And for those of you who are watching on Facebook, the chat is open if you want to ask any questions. Those of you who are on YouTube, you can do the same. And those of you who are joining me in the Zoom room can type questions in the chat box as well. Okay, so this was supposed to stream Facebook Live, but Facebook was buffering, not allowing me to go live. So I have a device here. I've got 2 screens up. I'm trying to make sure I share this information with as many people as possible, because I want our children to be in better positions when it comes to their finances, their debts, and getting out of college without owing an arm, leg, and a kneecap to Sally and May. Okay. So I've written down a couple of things that students can do. I talked about not ruining your credit by signing for a t-shirt, a pop, a 2 liter of pop and pizza, whatever it is they're offering you to get you to sign on the dotted line. Don't do it. Call home, ask somebody to send you some money. Cash app you $20. Okay. Please don't. All right. Hey, Bucky and Michael and Mary and Thailander and Olivia and Shawnee and Toya. Thank you so much for joining me. So I also said that this scholarship book is divided into multiple sections. There are so many reasons and justifications for getting scholarships. The other thing I want to point out before I move on is that the reason I think, especially for you juniors, that you start, if you have a junior in high school, that you start now, is because you can look at what the um, what the qualifications are. And a lot of the scholarships, you have to write an essay. So this would be a good time for them to start practicing how to write an essay based on the criteria that the scholarship application has. For example, the Regions Bank application gave out a range of scholarships. So some were 500, some were 750, some were 1,000, and maybe a little bit more. But they gave out the scholarships based on how well your essay was written. So if you take the time now, especially since we're all stuck in the house, no, we're all at home and during this time, this will be a good time for them to have some practice. Start formulating a good essay. The topics do change, but this will give them good practice. Okay. The new book will not release until June 16th of 2020. So if you want to wait until that time, but if you are in your sophomore year or junior year, you can also order the 2020 version, the 2019 version, and go ahead and get, just get the practice in. Okay. So make sure, I'm going to say the name of the book again. It's the Ultimate Scholarship Book. You can find it on Amazon. It'll be released to ship on June 16th. And right now it's about $27. Okay. Once you get to college, in addition to not signing on those credit card applications, check with your school's program for different organizations that offer a stipend. That is one of the most beneficial things that you can do, is that you can get involved in volunteer work on the campus that has a stipend. My daughter was involved with the Boys and Girls Club. It was a program where she got a stipend twice a month. And then in the summer, she did a 2-week program where she received an additional stipend. And it wasn't cheap. It wasn't no the $30, $40 stipend. It was a nice size stipend. So it is something that the students can do. They have to find out what's available on campus. Again, if anybody has any questions, hey Victoria, type them in the chat, add them here in Zoom room, and I'll be sure to make sure I get them answered for you before we go. Okay. Sometimes family members have to step in for other family members and get them going off to college. There may be some justification for a student to be classified as an emancipated minor. Because even throughout the time of college, they're looking for the parents' tax returns when they're filling out the FAFSA. Okay. But as an emancipated minor, they went on my own tax returns. And when my income is considered versus my parents' income at that time, I qualify for more financial aid as an emancipated minor. You do have to talk to someone in the financial aid office as to what the terms and criteria is for being classified as an emancipated minor. But it is an option. And the more financial aid they receive, the less they look at getting student loans. Okay. So I hope that actually helps someone. For those of you who have students in high school, let me tell you, I am a product of the Chicago public school system. I don't remember my mama having to come out all this money that these school systems are asking for today. A $85 yearbook, school fees and assessments for this, that, or the other. When I got a bill for my daughter, I said, "Girl, whose bill is this?" I just wanted to know because I knew it couldn't have been mine. So I recommend that you guys start, especially if you have a middle schooler. Okay, start now. Create a savings account, whatever it is, put it in an envelope. Who cares? Start tucking money away, because that junior year and senior year starting to look like mortgage payments around here. You understand what I'm saying? I was like, $600 for what? A fee for this, a fee for that, prom, luncheon, and the whole works. Baby, you needed a job a long time ago. Okay. So make sure that you start preparing for that. put money aside, even if it's just a little bit at a time, because by the time they get to their junior, and if they're in activities, you should have started when they were born. All right. You should have started when they were born. But let's make sure that we get to the point where we're starting to tuck away money for the expenses that are coming. If you start small and remain consistent, by the time you actually need the funds, they'll be available, even if it's not all of it, at least some of it. Okay. That was one of the things that someone asked about, is just different ways to save. Um, in working with my clients, what I've told them to do is find a savings amount that's comfortable for you. If it is comfortable for you to put away $10 every pay period, and you put it in an envelope and label it graduation day, do that. Because after a while, when you start to see it add up, when you get the opportunity to add more to it, you will. You already have the habit of saving. You just now have to change the amount. You'll already have the habit of saving. You just have to change the amount. Okay. So that is a good place for you to start. Um, does anybody have any questions? I want to make sure that if you have a question that I get it answered for you. Okay. I know a lot of you were wondering what other topics or categories are in this book, right? The scholarship book is amazing. All right. So let me tell you, there were scholarships based on your major, and it was almost every major that was at the college. Okay. There were scholarships for if you are the first in your family to go to college. Now, how they verified that information, I don't know. But there were scholarships for if you were the first to go to college. There are scholarships based on zip codes. There are scholarships based on, do you come from a family of X? Are you military? Do your parents belong to this? It was so many different topics that it was just unbelievable. How do you get the book? Stephanie, I want you to go to Amazon. This book is available on Amazon. And currently, I printed this actually today on Amazon, buy new for $27.54. And the current one, the Ultimate Scholarship Book for 2021, will not be available to ship until June 16th. But if your child is not a senior, you will be okay with the 2020 copy of the book. They add new organizations every year, but this is a good time for your child to start to practice. They have scholarships for your ACT scores and your SAT scores, okay? Gender specific, major specific, state specific, organization specific. So you've got sororities, you've got nurses, you've got doctors. Are you the first? Are you the only? Are you the youngest? There are so many topics that are in this book that it is absolutely amazing. Okay. And like I said, I usually do this in person every year, but this year, because of the corona, we're not able to do it in person. So I took it online for you to be able to learn anything about it. Stephanie, does that answer your question? Okay. And let me know if you have any others. And Stephanie, I also told them that you can also rent books. Did anybody know that they could rent textbooks on Amazon? Did anybody know that? So let me go over that again. You can actually go online with the ISBN number and put the book in, put the book's ISBN number. Usually the professor will give that, or the school will give it when they put out the book list. And my daughter's book list cost me about $1,200, and it was $400 when I did it on Amazon. That's a big difference. Books are not all brand new. They might say used, but they don't have some of them are in excellent shape. Most of them are in excellent shape. And then they ship free. And at the end of the semester, if you need to renew it for the second semester, you have a fee. And then you can turn around and ship the book back for free. Okay. So I'm going to give you another website that you can utilize when it comes to price comparing textbooks. And it is called letmeshopforyou.com. Let Me Shop For You, and that's the number 4. What it does is it's a comparison website where it will compare websites all across that have textbooks available, and it will give you different prices. Okay, so it will say you're over here on eBay, you can get it for this, on this site, you can get it for that. And then you can click on that link and it will take you to the site that you decide. Let me shop the number 4 and the letter U, letmeshopforyou.com. Excellent website to use for resources. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about other resources that they think they might need for school? Okay. If who's got their kid there with them, their child with them, listening, and they have something that they want their child to hear. Okay. So here's another thing that you can start working on is that you need to start working on recommendation letters. Teachers have tons of students coming to them at one time. Go ahead and line up now who you want your child to use as a referral. Okay. The teacher that has worked with them the most, that has helped them the most, work with them and make sure that the child has either reached out to that teacher or send them a letter. Right now, everybody's doing things from home. Send them an email, because what you don't want is that one person, the best person to write the recommendation letter for your child, and they're number 32 on the teacher's list of people that they're writing recommendations for. Okay. And when you're asking a teacher to write a recommendation letter for you, it's a good idea to have kind of like your resume, the child's resume. What have they done? What their interests are? What have they learned over the course of years in school? And I don't mean just the textbook stuff. Kind of make it personal as to why this teacher would want to write a recommendation letter for your child. Okay, and let them go to the teacher. Okay, I know as parents we want to get involved and have our hands on it, because that was me. I'm telling you from experience. But let them, talk to them about, how to get that recommendation letter done. So Stephanie asked, when is the best time to start searching for scholarships? My son is entering 11th grade now. And this is one of the reasons that I designate, that I targeted parents of juniors and seniors. You can never apply too early. There are some scholarships that will start taking high school juniors. This scholarship book, you have to look at the qualifications. But if they say start applying in when you're entering the 12th grade, listen, that gives your son time now to start talking to his teachers. Okay, he finds the scholarship he wants to apply for, right? The scholarship process is not easy and it's not quick. So even this is a great time for him to get a hold of that book, even if he gets the 2020 copy that's available now, right? And start looking through there. He can start flagging what tab in the page to see which scholarship he's interested in applying for, put together a profile for each one so that he knows, hey, this scholarship wants 1 essay and 3 recommendations. This one I need to get my recommendation, my ACT score, all of those things he's in a perfect position. A 10th and an 11th grader are in a perfect position to start getting prepared. Okay. So that is one of the reasons that I try to do this in the second semester of in the spring of every year, because this gives them time and they're not rushed. The worst thing they could do is try to rush and the work doesn't look as neat as it could. Okay, so let's set them up for success and order your 2020 copy and let him start getting ready for what he's going to do. He can walk into his senior year, he's going into his junior year, walk into that in the fall when classes start again. Listen, Mr. So-and-so, Miss So-and-so, I'm going to start applying for scholarships. I would love it if you would write a scholarship letter for a recommendation letter for me. What information do you need? So he already knows he needs to contact at least 3 or 4 teachers to see what they want from him so that they can write his recommendation letter. My philosophy is, if I get all the information from the outside resources, my transcript, my ACT score, my recommendation letters, as long as I have those already lined up, then I'm only dependent on myself to get the last part of the application process done. If I'm sitting around stressing, oh goodness, this thing got to be in 3 days and she has not given me this recommendation letter, we're not gonna do that. we're not gonna do that. So a good thing would be to either set up an Excel spreadsheet, name once he goes through the book and finds what he likes and what he's interested in applying for, and then set up the deadlines. Or get a big magnetic board, put it on a vision board so that it's in front of you. Okay, so that you can help him stay on track and he can stay on track, right? That book has so much information in there. You really, really, in essence, and I'm not talking just $500 or $600. I'm talking checks with commas in them. I'm talking a check with a comma in it. My daughter has several of them. So I'm not telling you what I don't know. I'm telling you what I've experienced. So, and they were paid to her. They were not paid to the university. They paid to her. So it covered her books. It covered her school supplies. It covered her her payment for her housing. Okay. Stuff that her financial aid would not have paid for. My daughter is an upcoming senior. Does she need the 2020 or the 20? She needs the 21 book, because that's going to be the most current one, which means that anybody who's newly added to the organizations for this year, all of their stuff will be available. So she would get the 21 book and start getting going. Now, here's my thing for me. If my child was sitting at as being an upcoming senior, I would order the 2020 book, because it's going to be 2 more months. This is April. The new one won't be available until June, middle of June, which means you're getting it the end of June, beginning of July, the 4th of July holiday. Whereas the 2020 book will ship now. I would go ahead and order the 2020, look at that, and then get the 2021. It's worth it. That would be a total of $40, $45. And then you can compare so on page 267, these are all the same. And then donate the book, the other copy, to somebody else. Pass it on. I had 3 or 4 copies. I donated them to an organization so that they could use them. Okay. So, they got to think about taking their ACT. Let's talk about the ACT exams. Do not be afraid to ask the school for a fee waiver. Okay. They are available, but you got to ask. If your child is receiving on the free lunch program, they can get a waiver for ACT fees. Don't be afraid to ask. Okay. The state of Alabama, I'm not sure if they're still doing it, but there were a lot of they will do it again as we get closer to the school year starting, where they waive application fees. You can go online and apply to all the state schools in Alabama and not pay an application fee. Okay. But don't be afraid to ask the school counselor for application fee waiver. Okay. So that means it's a waiver that the counselor will give you. So when you turn in the application, it will have, you will be exempt from paying the waiver, the fee. Because those things add up. $25 here, $35 here, $50 here. That stuff adds up, and you could spend a couple of $100 in fees in just the number of colleges that your child applies to. All right. So make sure you try, ask about that. Any programs that they're in now, it is STEM, see if they have fee waivers. Okay. Take advantage of that. All right. There are some school programs where organizations will take them on college tours. Don't be afraid to look for organizations that will take kids on college tours. My child went on several, both of them went on several college tours. And when you take them on those tours, the school that they tour can sometimes offer a waiver of the application fee. Okay. So don't be afraid to take advantage of that. So Ms. Hawkins, Mr. and Mrs. Hawkins, do you have any other questions about that? And let me say this as well. Um, apply to any or sorority or fraternity organization. They are in those books. They have scholarships for not only undergrad but also graduate students. Okay, so there are programs that I took advantage of while I was in school. You've got to do some homework throughout that book. But when I tell you, it was an absolute blessing for me and my family, because $1,000 check to help pay for some of those school expenses came in quite handy. Okay, quite handy. So are there any other questions? Because I don't want to keep you guys all night. I could talk about this stuff all night, trust and believe, but I do want to make sure that you get your, okay, thank you. I want to make sure that you get your questions answered. But let me say this also, if you come up with a question later on, please don't hesitate to contact me. You find me on Facebook under Nicole Johnson. Most of you have my email, okay? And connect with me on social media. I will do some of this and give some of this information again. But let's try to do something so that our kids are not looking at Sally Mae. Okay, I'm not, if we have to get student loans to pay for school, I totally understand that, but let's borrow the amount that we need, not just the extra amount because it's available. And that was something my parents did not teach me. I did not know that. And so I was signing for my own student loans, and Lord knows I hate all of them. I hate all of them. But what I will say is this: I attended law school and got my master's degree at the same time. Do I know of any seminars at churches? Are you in Birmingham? Are you in Birmingham? And because my school, my law school, was not accredited, it did not accept student loans. So for my last year and a half, almost 2 years of law school, I used my refund checks from my graduate school to pay for law school. Okay, so you really have to figure out what's going to make this most economical. Okay, but please, 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 let's not really get into student loan debt, because it's killing us as a community. When you say seminars at churches, do I do seminars at churches? Oh, do I do seminars? Actually, yes, I have done a couple of them. I do seminars on budgeting and financing. I teach people how to work from home in the medical industry. I have also taught people how to work in virtual call centers, because that was one of the issues that a lot of my clients had when they were going through the home buying process. And I'm just going to veer off a little bit. When you are looking to create, to bring in additional income, statistics say that families would be a little bit more okay in their finances if they had an extra $500 to $600 in their pocket every month. But I think that number inflates, goes up and down. So somewhere, let's just say $600 to $800, extra $600 to $800 consistently coming in every month will kind of ease some financial stress in families. Okay, I totally get that. What I don't get is going to find a part-time job outside of the home. That's my take on it. because you're creating additional expenses. Okay. And what that means to me personally is that you go outside the home. That means you're spending more time away from the home. All right. You're spending more money to put the gas in the car to go to the extra location. You got to eat while you're there. And you really have a lot more stress because now your day has gone from 10 hours to almost 12 to 15 hours a day. And to me, that's just not worth it because it's like the money that you earn at the part time job, you're eating up in the expenses that you've created in getting the part time job. So, why not learn how to work from home in a virtual call center? Now, some people might say, well, Ms. Johnson, I have to get a landline phone. You pay about $50 for a landline phone. If that landline phone generates you $600 in income, have you made a great return on your investment? Absolutely. Okay. So, and then you establish a business so that you can also use some of that as a deduction on your taxes. Be sure to talk to your tax professional about that. So, but yes, do I do in person? Yes, I absolutely do. I've conducted a couple around town in Birmingham. So if you want, if that is something you're interested in, sure, absolutely reach out to me and we can talk about that. I have no problem doing that, you know, making arrangements to do that. So I do hope that this information was helpful. There's a ton more that I can give you, but that's really a good place for you to start. If your son or daughter is a high school junior, go ahead and get a copy of that book now. Okay. And start doing some research, letting them start looking through the book to get themselves prepared for how to get ready for college. Okay. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me through social media. My email address, if you want to send me an email, it's Nicole at B and B. My business is named after my children, Brianna and Brandon. So B&B Financial Services.org. Okay. But if you want, just like I said, reach out on Facebook and we can talk. I really appreciate you guys being here tonight. Could I repeat the name of the book, please? Absolutely. The book is called The Ultimate Scholarship Book. It is currently in print up to 2020, and the 2021 version will be available as of June 16th. So it's a green book. If you are on my social media, I have a picture of it on there, but you can go right to Amazon and look for the Ultimate Scholarship Book. Okay, it's the Ultimate Scholarship Book. All right. Did you get that, Miss Smith? Did you get that? I want to make sure you got that. And if not, just like I said, reach out to me on social media and the picture of the book is on my page. All right. I do hope that this was helpful to you guys. If you want, you're welcome. You are very welcome. If you have any additional questions, please don't hesitate to ask. It is time for my business mantra for 2020. It is time to educate, to elevate, to get your double portion in 2020. And I know right now it may not seem like this is the best time to start making plans, but I promise you it is. I also teach you guys how to create streams of income from home. If you want to know more information about that, definitely connect with me on social media so that you can join my Work From Home Academy. My goal is to help 100 people become successful in the medical industry from home. And really what that does is get you to the point where when these jobs show how they're not loyal, when they show you that they're not loyal, you don't have to worry about it because you created something in the background that belongs to you. All right. So I want to educate you so that you can elevate for your double portion in 2020. If you missed the first part of this broadcast, this is what I did. It is streaming live on my Facebook page. Okay, I've got my device over here. So the replay will be available. And it's also on my YouTube channel. Okay, so this was a first for me tonight. Technology didn't work right, but we had a plan B. So you can find me on Facebook as well as on YouTube, so that you can get more information. And actually, was that Miss Hawkins that said that she didn't see the beginning of it? You'll be able to catch it on replay. As soon as I click finish, the replay will post in about 10 or 15 minutes, okay? So thank you so much for, you are welcome, you are welcome, you are welcome. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, and I look forward to seeing you guys all around Facebook. Have a good one. Let me turn all of these things off. Okay. You guys in Zoom, if you have any questions, be sure to let me know. All right. Thank you so much. Have a good night.